DJ turn it up, better DJ bring it back. Tell the DJ turn it up, better DJ bring it back. Tell the DJ turn it up, better DJ bring it back.
So this is everything I've received in the package. It's not necessarily how you're going to receive yours, as this is for an unbiased review. So packaging wise, it may be different. So I've got an empty box here, which contained the battery, which is currently sitting inside the case as the unit came pre-made and ready to use. There's also unofficially the world's smallest box, which houses the beauty ring, which is also already in the case. A few cards and a manual with troubleshooting for the aero tank. You also get, with this particular model, a set of 5 spare coils, Jac Vapour coils, which stands for Japanese Organic Cotton, which I do believe is their latest version of their coils. So I'm quite curious to see how they perform. They were also kind enough to include 2 samples of their juice in 0 nicotine. So I've got raspberry, made in the UK. Not sure how that's going to taste, as I've never tried any juices from Jac Vapour before, and a pure menthol. The ratios in here is 80-20 in the favour of PG. So once I've set this up and with the coil, I can give you a little demonstration of how it vapes. So instead of getting a separate manual for this particular model, you have to tear the box open and it's all in there. So it kind of in a way saves paper, and it is quite handy. But annoyingly, you do have to destroy your sleeve. So this has got a little bit of troubleshooting in there, a little bit about them, warning labels, and a few other details. It's pretty self-explanatory, so I don't need to go into that with too much detail. Moving on to the actual case itself, they've recently brought these out. A few other people got a very similar kit for review, but they didn't get the case. So I feel quite lucky that I actually received this. It's a really nice case, and it will be something that I'm going to use. Inside the case, you'll find the actual 1000 milliamp battery itself and the aero tank that comes already attached, along with another spare coil. There's already one in the unit. So as a whole, this package comes with 7 coils, which is going to last you a very long time. It also comes with a USB charger, very short lead, but it is marked, so you can't really get it confused with any of your other chargers. So yeah, make sure you only ever use the charger that comes with the device. And now for the device itself. I can't stop picking this up, as the feel of it in my hand is awesome. The battery is quite a fat battery in comparison to a standard Ego pen or e-cigarette. It's got a few vent holes on the bottom, which is a nice feature, because if the battery was to go into thermal runaway mode, the unit itself wouldn't actually expand and become a bomb, because the gases actually have somewhere to vent to. So it's a nice to see them on the bottom of there. This is a variable voltage device, so you can turn it up and down. So 5 clicks gets the unit on. And you'll see we've got a few different colours going on there. So currently it's in white, which is the highest setting. So to change that, you just click it 3 times. And now we're in the lowest setting, which I do believe is 3.7 volts. Click it 3 times again. And it will turn green, meaning that you're in the mid-range setting. I'll just check what that is. So the green light indicates that you are in 4.2 volt mode, so mid-range, and the white mode is 4.8. And again, just for demonstration purposes, I actually clicked that 4 times, but it still went through. So the white light indicates that you're in the highest volt setting. I have had a few problems with this tank with leaking. I'm not sure if it's something I've been doing wrong or if there is genuinely a fault there. They have got a fair amount of reviews on their website, and a few people have also said that they've had some leaking problems, but in the end they've managed to get it fixed, and hopefully I've fixed mine today. So we'll just break down the tank and I'll just show you where the problem is. It's nice to see you get a glass chamber. Okay, so the problem for me is here, down in the well, okay? This isn't their Jac Vapour, this is their the previous coil. So there's no cotton hanging out, for example. It's the same dimensions, I'm not too sure what they are, and the chimney is the same. Although when you screw this in, although it feels tight, juice has been somehow leaking through the tiny little gap that's all the way around the edge, and basically water falling out of the airflow holes. So last night I filled the tank up and I set it down, and when I came up this morning the tank was empty and there was juice everywhere. So I'm not sure if it's the way in which I've been tightening this down, and I'm not sure if it is genuinely a fault. Now they have sent me something along with the jock wick that I'm supposed to put onto the chimney of the coil. So these are the coils. Quite generous that they send you them. But they've also sent like a rubber grommet, a pink rubber washer kind of thing. And they said in their email that this was supposed to go over the chimney of the coil. Now, what I consider the chimney is the bit where the vape would leave, because there's nowhere else to put it on the coil. Now it's got like a narrow end and a flat end. They didn't state which way it should go on. I personally can't see that that serves any purpose at all. So either I'm doing that completely wrong, or they just don't know themselves. I have emailed them today in response to this matter, but I've had nothing back so far. The other problem is when I put this on last night, yeah, I have an issue. So yeah, again, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. I didn't try it with this coil. I tried it with the jock wick coil, and it seemed to prevent the juice from actually leaving the chamber and entering the coil itself. And I did actually get a really nasty dry hit. So obviously I removed that, put it back in its little bag, and continued using it until I woke up this morning and found that it had leaked everywhere. So it's something to consider. It might be something I'm doing wrong. I've only been playing with this for less than 24 hours. As familiar as I am with tanks, I have never actually had that problem with leaking out of the airflow holes. So to fill this unit up, as it's gravity fed, we're just going to unscrew the base cap that houses the coil. And we're going to grab ourselves a juice. I'm going to go with the raspberry flavour. So this is going to be a bit of a juice review and a product review at the same time. And to fill the unit, you just want to sort of avoid that centre hole, otherwise it's going to flood out at the bottom, which is no big thing, but just fill it up. It holds 2.5 ml of juice, so it's a fair sized tank, and it does fit with the unit flush as it's exactly the same dimensions, so it does look really neat and tidy. I'm just going to prime my coil as well. Going to make sure that's in nice and tight. Okay, so that's in as tight as it could possibly be without actually damaging the unit. It's done up nice and tight too. No leakage so far. It's got a slimline drip tip. The depth of the canal that accepts it is a little bit shallow, so I can't use my own drip tips. The ones I've got don't fit anyway. They jar out a little bit because it's very shallow. But the one that comes with it is quite nice as well. Very slim. I'm just going to let this prime for a little while. Just let it get juiced up. Let the coil soak up the juice, and then we'll give it a fire. So I've got this in its lowest setting now. It's been priming for about 5 minutes. So I've got it in red, which is 4.7 volts. And I've got the ventilation holes, sorry, the airflow holes open to just 1. So I can demonstrate that you can do a mouth to lung hit, similar to smoking. And you don't need long drags at all. If I just turn the unit up all the way, white, and get them airflow holes open all the way, there's a good amount of ventilation there, and give you a lung hit. This thing is a beast. It's like a mini cloud chaser. The clouds that you get off of it are huge for such a small little device. The juice is also really tasty. It's got like a subtle flavour. It doesn't taste artificial. It tastes like a premium juice. Yeah, it's quite thin, it's quite loose, probably because it hasn't got a lot of VG in there, but then that makes it perfect to use with a coil such as the one that I've currently got in here. I haven't got the Jac wick in here, so I thought I'd try their older model first, just so I have something to compare it to, but we'll have another blast on it. The amount of vapor you get off here is insane. So this little battery is a beast. It really does produce 1000 milliamp battery it is, or mAh battery. I haven't actually charged it up yet, as I think it came fully charged, which is a bonus. That was it, 10 seconds, and the device is telling me, whoa, slow down, which is a good feature because you didn't want it to false fire in your pocket. So at least you know it will cut off. So this is their older version of coil, the one I'm currently using that's producing them big clouds. And as you can see, there's two holes there with the cotton inside, and two holes on the other side. So there's nothing jarring out. It genuinely does work and it does produce. That's only sat for 5 minutes and already the coil is full up and ready to go. And this is their newer Jac Vapour coil, and you can see that the Japanese organic cotton is actually hanging out of both sides. So it's going to wick a lot more efficiently and a lot more faster. It's going to literally reach out and soak up that juice. Now there's only two main differences that I can see with these two coils in particular. Those two differences are the length. So what I'm going to assume is that there's a completely different coil build in each one. I am going to check this, look this up, but prior to doing that, I'm just going to give you what my interpretation of it is that the chimneys are the same size, but the actual housing that holds the coil is different, and the two connections on the bottom are identical. They're exactly the same. So the only reason I can see why you would need the little rubber grommet or washer on there, on the new style of coil, would be to build it up to pretty much the same sort of level as their older coil. Why they've done this, I don't know. It's beyond me. I have no idea. And why pink? I don't know if it was because they're instead of redesigning it, this is sort of their temporary measure just to see if these coils actually work and if people like them and if they're going to be successful. Personally, I don't like it. I don't like not knowing what I'm supposed to do with it. I don't understand which way it should go, and that is the only reason I can see that they include it. Personally, that's not a good enough reason to use it in my opinion. For the purposes of this video, I am going to try the other coil a little bit later on, and I'm going to try it with and without the little pink grommet. A little bit more about the battery that I failed to tell you at the start. Is that it has, this is the beauty ring that comes in the world's smallest box, unofficially the world's smallest box, and that allows you to actually access the E-cig threading. So if you wanted a clearomizer on there, it accepts it perfectly, as it's just a standard size E-cig. So you're not bound to using a tank. With the beauty ring, it does give you quite a flush finish. As you can see, it does fit really well and it does look really nice. There are a few different connections, the beauty ring, etc., but it doesn't bother me. Some people that would bother, it doesn't bother me. And all of these parts are replaceable and changeable. So for example, the little airflow control has got a little Phillips screw on the back. You can undo that, remove it and replace it. So hopefully in the future there might be different variations on it. So you could get different styles to give you different airflow, or it could just be that if you've damaged it you can replace it, which is a good thing. It's a good feature if you're not really into rebuilding RDAs, etc. At least you can get stuck into something like this and actually get a little toolkit out and do some repairs on it yourself if you needed to. So I've just primed the new Jac wick, which is sitting down there. So it's just a case of unscrewing the base cap, holding onto the coil, getting that coil out of there, which I've done up really tight, and replacing it with the new Jac wick coil. Again, really doing that up there. The first thing I noticed straight away after I changed this coil is the sound. It's gone into super hybrid mode. I mean, listen to this. Incredibly loud, which is what you want. So we'll give this one a blast and see how this one goes. Okay, that felt a lot more dense than the first time round. Flavour is awesome. Definitely a lot more cloud. I need to look up what these coils are, if it's a dual coil, single coil. I think it came out at 1.8 ohms on the ohm reader. Tons of vapour came off of that. There's not really a lot of information on the packaging for the coils. It just says that it's a Jac cloud wick, and that it's a PT3 S coil and wick. So I'm not sure if it's a single coil, dual coil, but it is a 1.8. Oh, it is a dual coil. Sorry, it says it on there. It's just because of the labels, like it's like a misprint, so they've cut the top part off. It's a 1.8 ohm dual coil. So I'd assume the other one isn't a dual coil. Could be wrong, but it would explain why you're getting a lot more vapor for your money, kind of thing. It's not bad. Okay, after about 10 minutes of using this, it seems that the coil's already flooded. I'm not sure why that is. The device does get pretty warm as well. Not too warm that you can't handle it, but quite warm. So I wouldn't like to use this all day, every day. I'd like to pick it up as and when. But I'm pretty sure you'll be able to pick this up. It's flooded. Listen. Yeah, it's got a bit of a misfire, backfire in the mouth of juice. It's a brand new coil. It's a brand new tank. It's a brand new mod. Why is it backfiring? I have no idea. It may be that the juice is a little bit too thin and it's flooded the coil. It may be that the coil isn't suitable for 80% PG. Maybe I need to thicken it up a little bit with a little bit more VG. Other than that, I have no idea why it's flooded. It's also worth mentioning that it is leaking again from the airflow holes. Pretty sure you can see that. That is without the little rubber grommet. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean it up, give it a little wipe down, make it all new again, nice and dry. I'm going to stick this on the chimney of the coil and give it another go, and hopefully that will solve the problem. Anyone is welcome to chip in and tell me if I'm doing this wrong. I won't be embarrassed at all if this is the complete opposite of what you're supposed to do, as there is no instructions with this at all, and I'm very unfamiliar with the whole purpose and reasoning behind this rubber grommet. So that's on there now. You can see that that's clearly on there. So that's the only place that I can picture putting it, on the chimney. So that's now going to go back. It's a bit of a tighter fit now. Back on the tank, covered in juice. Right, so let me clean this mess up, and we'll give it a fire up and see if that's fixed the problem. Okay, I've been puffing away on this for a little while now, maybe 5-6 puffs I've had on it. I'm starting to now get a dry hit, as the pink rubber washer is preventing the juice from actually leaving the chamber and entering the coil. So please tell me if I've done something wrong, if I've put that on upside down, or if I've put it in the completely wrong place. I have absolutely no idea where that is supposed to go, as it doesn't seem to serve a purpose. Yes, it stopped it leaking, but it's now preventing any juice from leaving the chamber. I've currently got it wrapped up in a piece of tissue because it's doing nothing but leak. Now, honestly, I don't know why. I am dumbfounded as to why it keeps leaking. I did just receive an email back in the last few minutes saying that it could be the coil. I could be the unlucky one that's unfortunately got a faulty coil, which would be the only reason in their eyes that it's leaking. This is actually the third coil that I've used in the last 24 hours and it's still leaking. When it works good. You've seen it, it really does produce cloud. So when it's going, it's going. The fact that you can turn it up and down, different variations on the voltage is perfect for out and about, depending on different situations and where you are, if you want a little bit more or a little bit less vape. It's really good. As far as the tank goes, I can't work it out. I can't figure out why it keeps leaking. I can't figure out why I'm getting dry hits, and I can't figure out what that little pink rubber washer is for. There's not enough information on it. So unfortunately, that is my review. The unit is great. It's a great size. It's comfortable. It has both ego threading. It also has a spring-loaded connection, so you can use a whole different variation of tanks and clearomisers with it. It is compatible, providing that your own level meets the requirements that the battery is going to give out. You don't want to put a 0.6 on there because it ain't going to fire. As far as the unit goes itself, I think it's great, providing that they can fix that leak. Again, I don't know if it's something I've done, so feel free to hit me up and tell me you're doing something wrong or you don't know your stuff. I've been using the Sigelli with the Heracles tank for over a year now, never had a problem. I also have hundreds of different mods and tanks and clearomisers. Again, I've never had a problem with the juice leaking from the airflow hole. So the pros are, it's a great looking unit, it works well, it produces a lot of vapor, and it's quite a reasonably priced unit considering what you get in the box. The cons, unfortunately, is the leaking. So yeah, that's my review on the Series E vaporizer from jacvapour.co.uk. There will be a link in the description so you can head over there yourself, check them out for yourself, read the reviews. There might be a follow-up video if I can get a little bit more information on how to stop it leaking, and I can come back and take another look at it. I'll also do another review on the juice. I'll keep that separately, as this isn't necessarily a negative video, but I would prefer to do a separate video regarding their juice. So cheers guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.